you going toward Farmington? He called. Yes, I am, she said. Would you like a ride home? I would, she said, and she got in. My name is Joanna. Finney, thank you for rescuing me. I'm Ed Cox, he said, and you're welcome. On the way, they talked and talked. She told him about her family and her job and where she had gone to school. And he told her about himself. By the time they got to her house, the rain had stopped. I'm glad it rained, Ed said. Would you like to go out tomorrow after work? I'd love to, Joanna said. I'd love to. She asked him to meet her at the bus stop since it was near her office. They had such a good time they went out many times after that. Always they would meet at the bus stop and off they would go. Ed liked her more and more each time he saw her. But one night when they had a date to go out, Joanna did not appear. Ed waited at the bus stop for almost an hour. Maybe something is wrong, he thought, and he drove to her house in Farmington. An older woman came to the door. I'm Ed Cox, he said. Maybe Joanna told you about me. I had a date with her tonight. We were supposed to meet at the bus stop near her office, but she didn't show up. Is she all right? The woman looked at him as if he had said something strange. I am Joanna's mother, she said slowly. Joanna isn't here now. But why don't you come in? Ed pointed to a picture on the mantel. That looks just like her, he said. It did once, her mother replied. But that picture was taken when she was your age, about 20 years ago. A few days later, she was waiting in the rain at that bus stop, and a car hit her, and she was killed. That's so sad. Let's see. I remember this one, Harold. If you guys know, this is like one of the most terrifying ones. I'm not going to read that one because it's just gruesome. Let's see. Oh, this one I think is in the movie, if I remember correctly. The Dream. Oh, this one is too. It's called The Red Spot. While Ruth slept, the spider crawled across her face. It stopped for several minutes on her left cheek, then went on its way. What is that red spot on my cheek? She asked her mother the next morning. It looks like a spider bite, her mother said. It will go away. Just don't scratch it. Soon the small red spot grew into small red boil. Look at it now, Ruth said. It's getting bigger. It's sore. That sometimes happens, her mother said. It's coming to a head. In a few days, the boil was even larger. Look at it now, Ruth said. It hurts and it's ugly. We'll have to go to the doctor to look at it, her mother said. Maybe it's infected, but the doctor could not see Ruth until the next day. That night, Ruth took a hot bath, and she soaked herself. The boil burst out, poured a swarm of tiny spiders from the eggs her mother had laid in her cheeks. That's gross. This one is called Strangers. A man and a woman happened to sit next to one another on a train. The woman took out a book and began reading. The train stopped at half a dozen stations, but she never looked up once. The man watched her for a while, then asked, What are you reading? It's a ghost story, she said. It's very good, very spooky. Do you believe in ghosts? He asked. Yes, I do, she replied. There are ghosts everywhere. I don't believe in them, he said. It's just a lot of superstition. In all my years, I've never seen a ghost, not one. Haven't you? The woman said, and vanished. Let's see. guarded the house one morning as Rupert was checking his traps. He got the feeling that something was wrong at home. He'd hurried back as fast as he could, but when he got there he found that Sam was missing. He searched the house and the woods nearby, but Sam was nowhere to be seen. He called and he called, but the dog did not answer. For days Rupert looked for Sam, but he could not find no trace of him. Finally he gave up and went back to work. But one morning he heard something moving in the attic. He picked up his gun. Then he thought, I'd better be quiet about this. So he took off his boots and his bare feet. He began to climb the attic stairs. He slowly took one step, then another, until at last he reached the attic door. He stooped outside listening, but he didn't hear a thing. Then he opened the door and at this point the storyteller stops as if he had finished. Then usually somebody will ask, why did Rupert scream? The storyteller replies, you'd scream too if you stepped on a nail in your bare feet. Okay, well, that one wasn't scary. She thought she opened it and screamed. There lay the missing bride in her wedding dress, but by then she was only a skeleton. really like